Welcome back. We continue with the ionization of water. Water often ionizes to form hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions. And of course, it can be described by an equilibrium constant. You see, this is a reversible change actually. When weak acids are dissolved in water, you know that an acid is a donor of protons. So once an acid is dissolving in water, they contribute protons. And what's a base? A base is an acceptor of protons. So if a weak base is added to water, they consume protons. You make a note of it. This is not hydrogen atom, but this is proton. Remember, this H is actually not a hydrogen atom, but it is a proton. Change it. And we can measure the hydrogen ion concentration. That is what we express in the form of pH. And most of the biochemical reactions are affected by pH. And in all the living organisms, the solvent in the body is water. So change in the ionization of water will definitely affect the normal functioning of the body. That's why ionization of water is a very important topic for biochemistry students. See, pure water exists almost entirely of water molecules, and practically it is not an electrolyte because it does not contain any dissolved solutes. Still, a very small amount of water may undergo ionization, and we call it auto ionization, but that ionization is negligible. You see here the equation H2O gives reversibly gives H plus and OH minus, and ionization constant we may say is this one mentioned here. I told earlier that water is ionizing to produce protons. Okay, protons are produced, but practically free protons do not exist in solution. Instead, a proton may combine with a water molecule and form hydronium ions. Hydronium is H3O plus H2O plus H plus plus H3O plus. Can you see here? This is a water molecule. This is a water molecule. This is a hydrogen bond existing between this oxygen and this hydrogen, and it will lead to ionization of this hydrogen ion. And what happens, I mean, that is not the case. It will lead to ionization, and this proton is added here, and this is broken here, becomes OH minus. So now what happens? This was earlier H2O, but now it is H3O. Of course, this proton then will have a charge. So it is H3O plus. That is what you see here, H3O plus. And once a proton is lost, the remaining ion becomes OH minus. That is what you see here. So in water, actually, protons are existing in the form of H3O plus. The same thing is shown here. Hydronium ions are there. The H3O plus is actually called hydronium ions. One water molecule is gaining a proton, that becomes H3O, and one water molecule is losing a proton, that becomes hydroxide ion. And ionization of water may be measured by using conductivity, electrical conductivity. Once a solute is present in it, water becomes a conductor, and protons migrate towards the cathode and hydroxide ions migrate towards the anode. And movement of hydronium and hydroxide ion in an electric field is actually very fast compared with that of the movement of other ions, for example sodium ions, potassium ions, etc. This is because of a process called proton hopping. What is proton hopping? No individual proton moves very far. What happens, formation of a proton on one end of a hydrogen bonded water chain induces releasing of proton from the other end. So we feel that the protons are moving. Actually, protons are not moving anywhere. Let us see it in the form of a figure. Yesterday also we had mentioned it. In the last class also we had mentioned it actually. That the water is existing as a long chain interconnected by hydrogen bonds. You see here, these are all water molecules. They are all connected by means of hydrogen bond. Here, these blue colored lines are actually hydrogen bonds. See here, this water received a proton and became hydronium. And as a result, this hydrogen atom is accepted by or is attracted by this oxygen. And as a result, this hydrogen atom is attracted by this oxygen. So this is what we mean by using the term proton hopping. What happens at the end? Here, water accepts proton and becomes hydronium ion. At the end, the last water is accepting the proton and becomes hydronium ion. So this contributes to the very high mobility of the protons in the medium. And let us come back to the concept of equilibrium constant. You see, A plus B reversibly gives C plus D. This is a hypothetical reaction you have studied in your lower classes. And for the generalized reaction, equilibrium constant. What is equilibrium constant? Product of concentration of products divided by product of concentration of reactants. Here, what are the products? C and D are the products. And what about the reactants? A and B are the reactants. Equilibrium constant K is equal to product of concentration of products. What is in the product of concentration? Concentration terms are multiplied. So square bracket C indicate concentration of C and square bracket D indicate concentration of D. So bracket C into bracket D indicates concentration of C multiplied with the concentration of D. This is what we mean by saying that product of concentration of products divided by product of concentration of reactants. What are the reactants here? A is a reactant, B is a reactant. And how will you show the concentration of reactant? Square bracket A indicate concentration of A. That is what is shown here. And square bracket B indicate concentration of B. That is what you see here. So this is concentration of A multiplied with the concentration of B. So product of concentration of B. Equilibrium constant K is equal to product of concentration of products divided by product of concentration of reactants. Why from the ionization of water we are suddenly moving into equilibrium and all? Because both these topics are highly related. Let us see in the next slide. Ionization of water is expressed by an equilibrium constant. I told you earlier, water is ionizing into H plus and OH minus. In place of H plus, you may also write H3O plus. Both are correct. So the equilibrium constant K is equal to product of concentration of products divided by product of concentration of reactant. Here there is only one reactant, that is water. And in pure water at 25 degrees Celsius, concentration of water is 55.5 mole. Actually, what do we mean by that? Grams of water in 1 liter. How do you define molarity? Grams of water in liter divided by, in 1 liter divided by its gram molecular weight. In 1 liter there is 1000 gram of water. So gram of water in 1 liter is equal to 1000 divided by, what is the gram molecular weight? 18.015. 18.015. Actually, what is molarity? Molarity of a molarity, you know, that is a method of expressing concentration of a solution. It is equal to number of grams of the solute in 1 liter of solution divided by gram molecular mass of the solute. Number of grams of solute in 1 liter of the solution divided by gram molecular weight of the solute. So here it is 1000 gram per liter divided by 18.015 gram per mole, and what you will get it to be 1000 divided by 18.015, and what's it? Try to find out. That is what is mentioned somewhere here as 55 point, is here 55.5 mole. This is the answer. Here it is given here 55.5, or you may try using a calculator. You will get this value. So concentration of water is equal to, this term is equal to 55.5 when these ions are in equilibrium. And therefore we rearrange the equation. 55.5 into equilibrium constant K is equal to product of concentration of protons and concentration of hydroxyl ions. It is equal to Kw, ion product of water, or we may say ionic product of water. Both are okay. Ion product of water or ionic product of water, both are okay. And you see Kw is equal to product of concentration of products into product of concentration of products. It is equal to 55.5 into 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 16. 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 16. How? Because K equivalent, this constant can be, equilibrium constant can be determined using electrical conductivity measurements, and we get the value from that experiment as 1.8 into 10 raised to minus mole, 10 raised to minus 16 mole at 25 degrees Celsius, we say room temperature. So product of concentration of products is equal to 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 16 into 55.5. We get the answer as 1 into 10 raised to minus 14 mole square. This is mole multiplied with this mole. We get 10 raised to minus 14 mole square. Got it? And at any condition, one molecule of water upon ionization gives one proton and one hydroxyl ion. That means concentration of protons is equal to concentration of hydroxyl ions. So these two are equal. So how, out of this 1 into 10 raised to minus 14 mole square, what is the concentration of proton? This value divided by 2. Or out of 1 into 10 raised to minus 14 mole square, what is the concentration of hydroxyl ion? The same value, which means concentration of protons is equal to concentration of hydroxyl ions under these conditions. Okay, it is applicable to neutral solutions only, in pure water, etc. So at neutral pH, this is what I was talking so far. Concentration of protons is equal to concentration of hydroxyl ions is equal to 10 raised to minus 7 mole. Remember, at neutral pH only. See, the ionic product of water is constant. What is the value? What is the value for ionic product of water? Come to the previous one. It is 1 into 10 raised to minus 14 mole square. 1 into 10 raised to minus 14 mole square. It is a constant. So whenever the concentration of proton increases, the other one, concentration of hydroxyl ion, must decrease, because their product should be a constant. Or whenever the concentration of hydroxyl ions increases, the other value, concentration of protons, should decrease, because their product should be a constant. So if we know one of the value, we can calculate the other. pH scale. This ionic product of water, Kw, is the basis of the pH scale. We will see it in a table. It expresses the concentration of protons, and once we understand the concentration of protons, we can easily calculate the concentration of hydroxide ions. pH is the negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration. pH is equal to log 1 by concentration of protons is equal to minus log concentration of protons. And for a neutral solution at 25 degrees Celsius, you see proton is equal to 1 into 10 raised to minus 7 moles. pH is equal to log 1 by 1 into 10 raised to minus 7, and it is equal to log 1 into 10 raised to 7. See, we are taking this up. So when this is the denominator, it is 10 raised to minus 7, and when this is the numerator, it becomes 10 raised to 7. So log 1 into 10 raised to 7, it is equal to log 1 plus log 10 raised to 7. This is the way of calculations when we are using logarithm values. Log 1 into 10 raised to 7 means log 1 plus log 10 raised to 7, and you know that log 1 is equal to 0. So 0 plus log 10 raised to 7, and log 10 raised to 7 is equal to the power 7 itself. So log 1 is equal to 0, log 10 raised to 7 is equal to 7, so the pH is 7. So at neutral pH, or we say when the concentration of protons is equal to the concentration of hydroxide ions, pH is equal to 0. This is how we reach that value. This is a table which is showing the relation between concentration of protons and corresponding pH value. Okay, concentration of protons and corresponding pH value. Remember, when concentration of protons decreases, concentration of hydroxide ion increases. You look at the value. When this is 10 raised to 0, this is 10 raised to minus 40. What is this? This is the concentration of hydroxide ion, and this is the concentration of protons. When this is 10 raised to 0, you know that 10 raised to 0 is equal to 1. This is 10 raised to minus 14. 10 raised to minus 14 is equal to, a very low value, but pH is 0 here. What is the pOH? Remember, pOH is equal to minus log OH minus. We'll stop now for the prayer.